See, today we'll talk about a topic which is very closely related to decision tree, but it is true for the all other classifier also. Okay. So in the last class we talked about decision tree and then the card classifier. Okay. So today we'll talk about different thing. So that is something called is the model overfitting. Okay. So there are two terms here. One is something called the training error, another is the generalization error. Please understand what is training error. So error committed by a classifier or a classification model on the training set is called the training error. Let me clarify this part. So what we know, we have a training data set, right? And after that, we make a model. So here model is nothing but a decision tree out of the training data set. So now your model is built, and now what you have to do, if the unseen objects come, so you have to trace the decision tree and you have to reach a label, you have to reach a terminal level and you have to decide the class level of the unseen object. That is, we learned it here. So then what is training error? Say, as I said, you have a training data set, you make a model, you make a decision tree. So now you have a model. Now what you do it, that entire training data set you consider as a, let's say, is a dummy test data set, and you identify the class level of each of the instances in the training data set. I repeat here. Say I have a training data set. I make a model, so that is a decision tree. Okay. Now your model is built. Now consider this is your final model and you identify the class level of the training data set. Okay. So you make a model, you made a model out of the training data set. Now your model is ready. Now what you do it? Again you identify the class level of each instances in the training data set. Okay. So then some of the training instances may not be correctly classified by this already built model. Okay. So that error, if anywhere it is making mistake, so that error is called the training error. That model is making error on any one of the training instances. So let's say out of 100 training samples, you make a model. Now you identify the class level of each of the 100 instances and you find that out of the 110 instances are wrongly classified by this already built model. So therefore your training error will be 10 by 100. Okay. Is it clear? So another term is something called the generalization error. Okay. So generalization error is something the error on the unseen object. Okay. So you can say not exactly, you can closely say that generalization error is very close to the error committed by the model on the test data set. So that is something very close to the generalization error. So there are two terms, as I said, one is the training error, another is the generalization error. Error committed on the training data set is called the training error. On the other hand, generalization error is nothing but it is expected error of the model on the unseen object. So it is the expected error on the model on the unseen object. So you may have a trace data set. So but there may be a trace data set is it is the few instances of the entire populations where you know the class level, but that model does not know the class level. Okay, but there may be some other unseen object where you also don't know the class level and model obviously does not know. So therefore, what we say it is the expected error of the model on the unseen objects. So that is something called the true generalization error. Okay. So then a good classification model must fit the training data as well as the correctly classify the unseen objects. Okay. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
So now, what is model overfitting? Because we started the topic with model overfitting. A classification model which commits low training error and high generalization error is called the model overfitting. But classically, a good classification model must fit the training data as well as correctly classify the unknown object. What is the meaning of this this word? This sentence meaning is that a model should make less training error as well as less generalization error. If it is not the case, if it is the reverse way around, so that is the model is making less training error, but generalization error is high. In that case, we say the model is overfitted. So I will show you one plot. Okay, that will elaborate up to some extent. Yeah. First, you understand what is the training error and what is the generalization error or test error, and then you see. Here is, as you can see, there are number of nodes on the horizontal axis, and then vertical axis you can see the error. Okay. So there are two lines and two line plots you can see. One is on the training set, another is the test data set. Okay. So from here, what you can see is here the training data set is reducing whenever the number of nodes of the decision tree is increasing. Okay. So number of nodes means actually tree is getting much complex. So whenever the model is getting model is growing and model is getting more and more complex, then what we find that the error on the training set, that is training error, is getting reduced. Okay. Now there is another line plot that is dotted line. Okay, dotted curve. What do you see? Initially, when the number of nodes on the training data set is 50, so error was quite high. That is comparable with the training set error. Okay, but finally it is reducing, and then when number of nodes is going up, that is above 200, then what we see the test error is increasing, however the training error is decreasing. So this is the plot I am showing. So just now I explained it. Now there are two vertical line, as you can see. One is between 50 to 100 number of nodes, another is between 150 to 200. Okay. So what you see here, left side is saying is underfitting, where the training error and test error both are high. And on the right side, what you can see is the training error is low, but generalization error or the test error is very high. So this area is something called the overfitting. This area is something called underfitting, and this area is, we say, is rightly fitted. That is the expected region where we want that training error and test error both will be very low. Okay. So now if you have a question, Do you have any question?
Sir, why the training set data error is increasing like this? It should
Why?
not. Sir, I'm asking like why this training set data error is increasing with increasing number of nodes. Why this happens?
Training error is increasing. It's decreasing, no?
So test set.
Okay. So what happened is like basically the answer is like as follows. So initially what happened, that number of nodes are very small. Okay. Now when the number of nodes of a training of a decision tree is less, what happened actually, the model is unable to learn the entire features. So what happened, let's say you are asked to divide the population of India based on their characteristics or based on their habits. Okay. So now you are asked to divide the region into, let's say, in 5 regions. Okay. Or let's say 3 regions. Now what will happen, that if you say and you pick any one of the guy, okay. So what is the objective here? So you have to identify the habit of the person, right? So now you pick a guy and tell what will be the habit. Now what will happen? It may not tell exactly, because the your divisions of the people is so generalized. Okay, in a sense, is like it not generalized. It is a coarse division, not fine-grained division. So therefore, the model is unable to learn the what is the exact behavior of the person or from a region. So that is the case from here for underfitting. Now you are talking about why this is happening. So no, now what it happened is like is we divided the, so or divided or we classify the people of India. Let's say is we have 134 people, and then we have a big complex classifier or a decision tree which has say number of terminal node is 130 crores, or let's say you reduce the number of students to 100, let's say in a class, okay, 100 students. So what I do it, I identify the each students, and then for each student there will be a node. Okay. So as I said in a roll number or some other features, then what will happen? You have the 100 terminals here. Okay. So now you identify the each students. So obviously it will ended up in a terminal. So therefore you identify the each student very correctly. So your training error will be 0. Is it okay? So your training error will be 0. Now what happened? It is no objective of the classification model. Building classification model is not to identify the class level of the training data set. So obviously your training error will be 0. But what happened? Whenever some unknown students come, what is the objective? I have to identify the students' behavior, or we have to identify or classify the students. Okay. So now what will happen if the new students come? You cannot tell that what will be the behavior of the new students. Why you cannot tell? Because you have 100 students in the training data set. You have the 100 beans, so you cannot place the 100 plus one student. So therefore, obviously that time if you put 101 student in one of the bin, and that guy is totally different from the rest of the students, so obviously that will make you the error. So therefore, if the model is too complex, okay, model is too complex, then the decision tree will lose the generalization ability. So that is why in when the model is overfitted, it will be good for the training data set, but it will not be very good for the test data set. Okay. So another close example I say, it may not be appropriate, but for it is very close. So that is something like, so let's say in a class, if I ask in mid-sem or end-sem, any questions which is directly taught in a class. Okay, uh, like you define the model, what is the definition of the model overfitting, and when do you say the model overfitting? Because it is exactly said, and then you can directly write the answer. Okay. So now if I give you some numerical problem, so many of the students may not able to do it. Why it is so? Because see, it is whatever the I ask in a class, so directly I am giving. That means already whatever in the training data set I am saying ki you give the what will be the class level of these instances. Okay. So therefore it is easy to tell what will be the class level. But what happens if I give a numerical problem? So then the students that ability, generalization ability of the problem is he is or she is unable to learn it. So therefore he cannot tackle the problem. Similarly, for in a classifier, what happened? It is very good for the training data set. Okay. So if the model is so complex, but the generalization ability, it will be lost. So that is why if the model is overfitted, so in that case, what happened? The generalization ability. So answering on the unseen question will be very difficult for the decision tree, but answering for the known question which is already seen by the decision tree will be much easier. So therefore, what we have to do, we have to go in middle path. What is that? So generalization error will be less, as well as the training error will be also less. So then whenever we fix a model, so we should have this curve. So we should ensure that training error should not be zero. Training error is going to be zero means it will be very good for the training, but it will not have the generalization ability. So whenever the new objects come, so it is going to mistake. So that is why this is very important to know that how much complex of will be a decision tree. And many deep learning approach also, what we do it, we are very concerned about the overfitting problem. Okay. So overfitting is like it will be good, it will perform very good on the seen object. That means already in the training data set. But that is not the objective of the classifier. Objective to identify the class level of the unseen object. Okay.
Yes, sir. Clear.
So what next? So now question of why is that model overfitting happen? So it may happen, but because training data set may have the noise. Okay. Okay. You and another reason is lack of representative sample. So when you get the training data set, so within the training data set, it may happen that the training data set does not represent the entire populations. See, when we tackle a problem, okay, so we get a training data set. Training data set is like a sample of the entire population. Let's say we have a 130 crore people in India. So we send only 540 MPs to the parliament to speak for ourselves. Okay. So those are the representative for 130 crore people. Okay. Now what happened? So if we do not choose any representative for particular region, so it cannot express the entire feature of India. Similarly, here we have a when we are talking about a particular domain, let's say spam filtering. Okay, so now you know that spam filtering will have a huge problem. Uh, if we don't, number of training data set is very small. Okay, so in that case, it will be very difficult to identify. Very difficult to identify the unseen object. So therefore, it will be good for the training error, but it will not be good for the testing error because your model is built on a training sample which does not represent the entire population. So this is the reason for the model overfitting, because it is very good for the training data set but not good for the test data set. Okay, so these are the two reasons for model overfitting. So now I will move to the some other slides here. So you can see a slide, right?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So yeah. So as I said, there are issues on model overfitting problem. So overfitting results in a decision tree that are more complex than necessary. Training error does not provide a good estimate of how well the tree will perform on previously unseen records. Okay. So need ways for estimating the generalization error. See, it is once you build the model, you have the training data set, easily you can find the training error. In the last class, if you remember very clearly, so in the Weka, you have also seen the training error. Okay. So training error, as I said, it is the error on the training data set. But using the training error, you cannot estimate the generalization error. Generalization error is something different. So it is not exactly the same thing you get the error on the test data set. Again, I said either whether it is a training data set or test data set, both are actually they are very few instances of the entire populations. Okay. So as I say, so let's say you are identifying whether email is a spam or not. Okay. Now you have a training data set. Okay. So, and you have a test data set. Very much fine. Now, what if you deploy, you build a model and you deploy the system. Now, what happens is I generate a spam mail. Okay. So, obviously, that spam mail does not include into the training data set of the model. Okay. So, therefore, there will be a huge instances in the same domain which are not included neither in the training data set but not in the test data set. So therefore, training or test data set are only the samples of the entire domain or entire populations. That is why I am repeatedly saying the entire population is, let's say, a infinite, because see, I drop a mail, I generate a spam mail. Tomorrow I'll generate a spam mail. Those are not included, and many people may generate the spam mail over different corner of the world. So therefore, those are not included in the training data set. So therefore, those are included in the entire populations. Okay, but not included in the training data set or test data set. But what you have to do, you have to build a model which represent those instances here in the training data set. So then your model will be very much robust. Okay. So therefore, from only the training data set, we cannot estimate the generalization error. As I said, the training data set is only few instances, and very we want those should be represented from across the all populations, but that may not be possible always. Okay. So therefore, but nevertheless, we need to estimate the generalization error. So whenever we say my model is 70% correct, so that 70% is not on the training data set. It is the estimated generalization we are expecting when for any instances, unseen instances will be given, we can identify, that is, we can identify 70% of times rightly or correctly. Okay. So that is therefore we have somehow estimated the error on the unseen object, and these unseen object can be any part of the population. So therefore we cannot say it is the exact generalization error. We are saying the expected generalization error or estimated. We need to estimate the generalization error. Okay. So therefore there are ways to estimate the generalization error out of the training data set and the model. Okay. So here we go. Purpose is to ensure that model is not overly complex. Need to estimate the generalization error using validation set incorporating model complexity. So now what you do it, you have a data set. What you do it, that data set is the training data set, means we know the class level. So now what you do it, that data set we divide into two parts. One is called the training data set, another is called the validation set. So training data set, as you know, it is used for building the model. Okay. And then what is the validation set? Validation set is used to estimate the generalization error. Okay. Okay. Once we fix this is the generalization error. This is the ability of the generalization error. Now we'll use the test data set to identify what is the exact error that model can give. Okay. Test data set is something, it is already deployed in a system, and then what error, what percentage of what type of error, not what error actually. So it will give the what is the performance of the system. Let's say you build a model to identify whether a person is terrorist or not based on his face, based on his what is called is the picture of his face. So now what you do, you build a model, okay, and you estimate the generalization error. You said that generalization error is something like that. So let's say is 70%. Now once you say you estimate it, now you go for the finding the what is the actual error on the test data set. So now if it is giving more than 70% and so on, then obviously you should go for deploying that system. So therefore there are two terms here. We have the training data set and then validation set, and another data set is called the test data set. And you will be learning later on that validation data set is also used for estimating the various parameter of the classification problem. So in this example, we learn on the decision tree. So what can be the parameter for the decision tree? So decision tree, one easy parameter can be how many terminal node we will keep in the decision tree. So if you keep on increasing the terminal node, now what will happen? Your model will be complex, your training error will be reduced, but your generalization error will be lost. Okay. So validation set are used for estimating the parameter also, and as well as the estimating the generalization error. Okay. Now, how to estimate the generalization error? Okay. So given two models of similar generalization error, one's model should pay for the other's one. If a simpler model will be preferred over the complex model. Okay. So a complex model has a greater chance of being fitted accidentally. If model is complex, very unlikely that you will get a good model. Okay. So now we have to estimate the generalization error. So in case of the generalization error, what do we estimate on the training error? So training error, what will be the input of the training error? Obviously the model, as I said, And what is the training error? It is the error on the training data set. So you need the training data set and you need the model. Okay. And for estimating the other part, it has two parts. One is some information will come from the training data set and the model, and second part is will come from the model. Okay. So in all together, it will be the generalization error. Okay. So we'll go to the next slide here. Now, let's say you have a decision tree and we have to estimate the generalization error. Okay. So that is something called is the pessimistic error. What is that? This is the generalization error. What is the generalization error on the training data set? Okay. And second part. What is the second part? If you move back here, so that is the value of alpha into complexity of the model. Okay. So here we go. So that is alpha here. And what is the error on this model? So it has two parts, error on the training data set and next error on the model. So that together will form the generalization error. What is this error on the training data set? That error rate on the all training records. As I said, the training error is exactly the same way. You have 100 instances in the training data set. You made a model. Now you identify the class level of the each instances using this model. Okay. So you, because it is training data set, you know the class level. So you see what class level the decision tree is saying and what is the exact class level. If it is matches, then obviously it is right or it is correctly classified, otherwise wrongly classified. So that you count the number of instances are wrongly classified divided by the training error. So that is something called ERT. And then what is this one? Model. So model is for it, in case of the decision tree, it is very important to know how many terminal node it has. Okay. So therefore, in the case of the decision tree, so this part is nothing but k. K is the number of leaf node, and this is the number of the training data set is multiplied with some factor. So that is a empirical part to identify this factor. Okay. So let's say in a decision tree, you build a model where, say, let's say 5 instances. Sorry, number of terminal node is 5. So it will be 5 by 100 into some parameter here. That will give you the total pessimistic error. I think we have an example where it will be clear. Yeah. Estimate the complexity of the decision tree example. Okay. So we have a decision tree here. Okay. We can see there are two decision trees, right? So now you estimate the error for the left subtree. So how many instances are there? You count it here. So it will be 24. Okay, you start counting 3 plus 4, 7, 7 plus 3, 10, 10 plus 12, 12 plus 3. Okay, 15, 15 plus 4, 19 plus 5, 24. So total number of instances are 24. Now on here also it is 24. Now what is the error? How do you get this 4? Okay. So here this terminal node, there is all are positive class, so there is no error. Here these instances will be identified as positive, but for one instances it will be negative. So error is 1. Here error is 1. So 2. Here no error. Here there will be 1, 3. So here will be 4. There is no error. So therefore error from this decision tree will be 4 by 24. Now what will be the error from this part? So this will be 2, this will be 1, so 3, and this will be 3. So this will be 6, total 6. So therefore error on the right side decision tree is 6. So this is the training error, this is also training error on the right side. Now what will be the generalization error? So generalization error from the left side is the training error, that is 4 by 24. So you go to the formula here. E error on the training set. So this is the error on the training data set. Okay. And then what will happen? You go to the R. So here is the omega into this part. Okay. So what is this part? This is nothing but the number of terminal node divided by number of training instances. Okay. So number of training instances is 24 and alpha omega is 1 and 7 for this terminal node 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1 into 7 by 24. Okay. So therefore generalization error is for this left tree is 0.458. Okay. So now on the right side, so it is 6 by 24 plus 1 into 1 is for omega 4 by 24 because it has 4 terminal node 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 by 24. So generalization error is 0.417. Hopefully you understood the computation. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is the same thing, right? Okay. So now this is another way to identify the generalization error. Okay. So this is something called minimum description length or MDL. Okay. Yeah. Minimum description length or MDL. Okay. So here is something like that. There are two guys, A and B. So they are apart from each other. So they are sitting two different places. Okay. So the guy A has the table left side and guy B has the table on the right side. Okay, B guy has the table on the right side. So guy A has the table on the left side. What is this table? So this is nothing but the training data set. And this guy has, this is not the training data set. He knows the objects, but he does not know the class level. This guy know the objects and also know the class level. Is it okay? The story is like that. There are two guys apart from each other. Okay. Guy A has the training data set, B does not have the training data set, but B has the objects. It has the all features of the object except the class level. Now what do you do? What is the problem here? B wants to know the class level of the objects. Okay. So then the only way to know this information of A. Okay. So therefore, what we A can tell this is the instances 1, its class level is 1. Instances 2, class level is 0. Instances 3, class level is 0. Instances 4, x4, class level is 1 and so on. Okay. So for instances, he can say here. So because it will be that information will be sent over the media. So what we are expecting the A should send the minimum information so that B can decode those information and it can get the class level of the each of the instances at B. Okay. So therefore, cost of the model. So what will be the cost of sending this information A to B? Has two parts. What A can do it, instead of sending for each information x1 will be 1, x2 will be 0, because it has the value x1, only it will say the which instances less fourth instances. So he will be knowing the fourth instances because these tables are also in the order. The instances are also in the order. So therefore he will be knowing the results. Okay. So therefore, if there are 100 instances here, okay, so he has to send for each object, he has to send one bit of information, right? Whether class level is 0 and 1 to y. So if there are 100 instances, so then he has to send the 100 bits. Okay. Now, what is the easiest way A can do it? A can make a decision tree out of this training data set, and A will only transmit the decision tree to B. And B, what B will do it? B will have a decision tree, and what it will do it? It has the instances, and then it will trace it, and then it will get the class level. So then cost will be only to sending the decision tree, provided the decision tree is perfectly gives the results, or the decision tree will have the training error 0. Then A will only send the decision tree. But if the constructed decision tree make mistake, then A has to say that on which training data set this model is making mistake. So therefore, this guy will identify what is the class level for, let's say, export is that such instances. So it will identify the class level, and then he will flip it. Okay. So therefore, A has to send not only the decision tree, A has to send also the instances for which, only number of instances for which that this decision tree will make the mistake. So therefore, for total cost will have two parts. One is cost for the given model. That means for the given model, for how many instances it will make the mistakes, and then what is the cost of the decision tree. Cost of the decision tree means he has to say that how many terminal nodes and what is the branching and so information. So therefore, for making entire model, it will have two parts. One is the cost of the given data, cost of the data for the given particular model. If model change, then this cost will change. If model change, number of instances making mistakes for the number of instances not correctly classified will be changed. Okay. So therefore, it has two parts. One is the cost is the number of bits needed for encoding for both cases. So cost of the model for given encodes the misclassification error. So how many times this model is making mistakes, so that is the cost of the model for the cost of the data for given model. Another is the cost of model for this part into multiplied with some factor is earlier we have seen. So cost of the model uses the node encoding, number of children plus the splitting condition and so on. Okay. So this is the one way to estimate the generalization error. Did you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who said yes? Who said yes?
Sir.
What did you understand?
Yes, sir.
What did you understand? Tell me.
So, for finding the generating error, there is a person A, B. If A wants to send the information of to B, then there are two parts. First one, decision tree for cost. Then we can find out the cost in two parts. First for decision tree, and second one, if any instances mistake from A side, then A can transfer B instance with B. Then the cost. This cost is also included.
Yeah. So it will have the two parts. One is sending the decision tree. Another is, as I said, key decision. If you build the decision tree out of the training set, it is not necessary the training error will be 0, as we have seen earlier. So it is not sufficient only sending the decision tree. Along with that, you have to send the number of not number of instances, which instances, okay, that it is making mistakes, that information also we need to send. So how we will send? Suppose there are 100 instances, okay. So then I want to send the information about the X4. Just 4th instances will make mistake. So how many bits do you need for sending this information? Are you getting my questions? There are 100 instances. I want to say, along with the model, I want to say that 4th instances or 5th instances are making mistakes. So for sending these information, that is 4th instances are making mistakes. Okay. So how many bits do you need? Okay. So we'll start this part from this slide in the next class. Okay.